Hi friends! This is the rubrics that I'll be using to grade you on your debates if you are the negative team. So if you're first negative, your rubric is first. The whole thing is out of 175 summative points. 15 points just for doing your speech on the day that you are assigned to go. You don't get those points if you don't go on your assigned day. After stating the proposition, the speaker uses a well-developed hook. So usually you'd start with a hook in a speech, but you're going to start by giving your proposition, stating how you feel about the affirmative team's proposition. Be very clear about your feeling on the topic, and then go into a hook that'll hopefully kind of lead us into what you're going to be talking about, and you want to try and get us on your side right away with whatever it is that you need to do at the very beginning. The most important part, if you are first negative, you can see it's worth the most amount of points right here. The speaker proves that the status quo is working fine and that change is not needed. So you need to prove to us that, the status quo is good, the policies that we currently have in place are good, the laws are good the way they are, and we don't need any sort of a change. It would be unnecessary to have a change. In order to prove this, you need to have research, evidence, stories, and examples. Really prove it to us through multiple examples. For 20 points, an effective line of questioning is used, a variety of questions. So when the affirmative team talks, hopefully you're writing down some notes, you're writing down some possible questions that you can ask them when you get up to do your cross-examination, which is about 2 to 3 minutes. So you should have different types of questions that are based off of what the affirmative team said. So I can tell that you analyzed what they said and you developed questions based on what they've been saying. For 10 points, all questions are answered accurately and confidently. So when the affirmative team asks you questions, you need to be able to answer them appropriately. So you should have research and information ready to go based off of what they are going to ask you. So, be prepared for what the affirmative team might bring up. For 20 points, the rebuttal time is used to effectively respond to attacks. So during the rebuttal time, you have 2 to 3 minutes. You are going to respond to the attacks that were made against you. So when they bring up things and they're pointing their fingers at you, you need to have answers for them. And then you need to summarize your strongest points once again to really prove that you are correct and that the affirmative team is not. This is a change. We used to have this be 7. I decided to bring it down to 5, so it's not quite as overwhelming. You need to expertly cite 5 or more pieces of evidence from 3 or more different sources. So, just make sure that they're on your works cited page too, and that you verbally cite them during your speeches. You need to turn in a perfect MLA works cited page with no errors before your speech. The speaker maintains effective eye contact. You're speaking confidently. You should not just be reading from a script. You should use, good eye contact with the audience. You should know your topic so well that you are just confident. You are sitting up straight. You may be using hand gestures, and your tone might shift depending on what it is that you're talking about. If you are second negative, this one is for you. Again, it's out of 175 points. And then 15 points just for doing your speeches on the day that you are required to. 5 points for stating your feelings on the proposition, how you feel about the proposition, and then going in smoothly to a hook. So even though your partner already did this, you will be doing it as well, just putting it into your words instead of theirs. The main job, if you are second negative, the speaker attacks the plan presented by the affirmative. You have to dig apart the plan that the affirmative team brought up. Really pull out the flaws that you can find in it. They might be small flaws, they might be big flaws, but you have to prove that there is problems with the plan. The plan will not work. It's inefficient. It's too expensive. It's just there's going to be all these problems with it. So you have to try and pull out everything you can that'll make the audience question the affirmative team's plan. That's the most important part. It's worth the most points. For 20 points, an effective line of questioning is used. You have to use a variety of questions, so jot down questions that you have while the affirmative team is speaking that you can ask them. That'll hopefully make them kind of backed into a corner, and hopefully they're tough questions for them based off of what they've been saying. When you are answering questions, you need to answer accurately, use your research, the things that you've learned about your topic in order to answer your questions. You should be confident in your answers. You should be prepared for what the other team will probably ask you. Rebuttal time is 2 to 3 minutes. So in the rebuttal, you will be responding to the attacks made towards you. So when the other team is attacking you and bringing up why you are wrong, and they're pointing out the flaws in what you're saying, you need to be ready and prepared for what you're going to say back to them. And then you need to summarize your strongest points once again to really prove that you are correct and they are not. Again, you cite 5 or more pieces of evidence from 3 or more different sources. Make sure they appear on your works cited page. So verbally cite where you got your information from, the experts in the field, the databases that you used. 5 points, you have a works cited page in perfect MLA format that is turned in before your debates. 15 points, you are speaking with confidence. You are using maybe hand gestures or good facial expressions. Your tone might change depending on what it is that you are talking about. And you're using good eye contact. You should not just be reading from a script the entire time. You need to be confident speaking to the audience. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.